This is Fred FR5ED, 5 Silent, here to do a beer review. I made a wonderful discovery last week. I was traveling around the state of Florida and traveled across from the west coast, came up the east coast, and I stopped at one brewery, and I'm not going to mention its name because I was not impressed. It wasn't really a tap room where you could order beer, you could just get a sample. And it had so little there to taste, and it was all very homogeneous, almost like they used the same yeast for everything, and it tasted very Budweiser-ish, if you know what I mean. It was just, there was no character to the few things I tasted. Anyway, so I looked up around me to see where, and I used findcraftbeer.com, or no, not .com, it's an app for the iPhone, Find Craft Beer, and immediately found one listed I'd never heard of, Cocoa Beach Brewing Company. It's in Cocoa Beach, Florida. So I went up there and I went in their tap room, small, charming little house, and very knowledgeable people there. Chris McCall, I believe, is the founder and head brewer. I met him briefly, but Tracy, I think her name is, behind the counter, was extremely knowledgeable. They had 4 beers on tap. I tasted them all, was highly impressed with all of them. Brought home a bomber of this one that we're going to look at right now. This is Cocoa Beach Brewing Company 888 IPA. There's 3 sets of skulls there forming the number 8s, and it has something to do with the original gravity being 1.080 and 8% ABV, I think. It doesn't say it on here, but I believe it is 8 point something. It is. It's like 8.2%, and there's another 8. But anyway, I was quite impressed, and what Tracy told me was that Chris does not brew to other people's standards or what's expected. He brews for his taste, and I like that, because then, you know, if somebody likes what he likes, fine. If not, then they can get something else. They're not trying to make everybody happy, in other words, like that other place maybe. So here I am. I've got this nice little brandy snifter I picked up at ABC for $3.69. This is a 22-ounce bomber, so we're obviously not going to get it all in the glass. See how this pours. Highly recommend checking out Cocoa Beach Brewery. It is, I don't know if you'd call it a nano brewery because it's so small, but oh my gosh, I can smell those hops. Oh, wonderful orange, like fresh squeezed orange. And a little bit of spice, floral, pineapple, maybe mango. As far as pine or Christmas tree, a little bit of that too. It is just a wonderful smorgasbord of aromas, and the color, it's fairly clear, a little bit hazy, but it's a nice orange, honey orange color, coppery. Let's take a taste. Very nice. Allegedly, it's 113 IBUs. I don't taste 113 IBUs here. The bitterness that's there is so immediately balanced with a nice full mouthfeel and almost a sweetness. Oh, I shouldn't say almost. There is a little bit of a sweetness there. I wouldn't call this a dry IPA. There's enough of a sweetness there. It's so balanced, and it's such a good feel in the mouth. It's not, I would call it a little bit heavy. You know, it's not medium. It's not light. It's leaning over to heavy mouthfeel. I'm almost double. Well, with that alcohol percentage, that really you might classify it as a double IPA. It does have a mouthfeel and a little bit of sweetness, and the ABV. I don't know why this isn't considered a double IPA. It is really delicious. Out of a 5-star scale, I would probably give this a solid 4. It's quite delightful. It was a wonderful discovery. I highly recommend checking it out. I'll be reviewing another one of their beers before long, their Pale Ale, which just, again, was amazing. They have an oatmeal stout that I think it's a honey oatmeal stout. The honey is probably about 20% of the fermentable sugar that was used. and they continuously hopped it with a low alpha acid hop, so you don't get a bitterness, you just get a good hop flavor to smooth things out. It was wonderful. And the fourth thing they had was a porter. Maybe it was a honey porter. Maybe that's the one that had the honey. Anyway, they're all good. Check them out. This is Fred FR5ED, over and out. By the way, this beer was not found on Beer Advocate. It was there but with no reviews, and it's not on Rate Beer at all. So anyway, that's it. Fred FR5ED.